Welcome to our channel World Rare Coins, where history and treasure collide. If you've ever wondered about the hidden gems lying in your coin collection, or maybe even in your pocket, this is the place for you. In today's video, we're uncovering some of the most valuable 1-cent coins that could be hiding in your collection or even in your change jar. You won't believe how much some of these pennies are worth. From rare minting errors to limited editions, we're going to break down which 1-cent coins could bring you big bucks. Stick around, because you might just have a hidden treasure worth way more than a penny. On Top 1 today, we're diving into a fascinating little piece of American history, the 1980 United States 1-cent coin. Now, we all know the penny doesn't typically get much attention, but trust me, this particular coin could change your perspective. Stick around, because you won't believe how much this humble coin could be worth today. Let's take a step back in time to the year 1980. America was in the midst of the early 1980s economic challenges, including inflation and the rise of interest rates. This coin was minted during the presidency of Jimmy Carter, and at the time, the penny was still made from a copper and zinc alloy. Little did anyone know that this small denomination would eventually become one of the most sought-after items for collectors. So, why is this coin so special? The design of the 1980 penny might look familiar. On the obverse side, you'll find the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, which has been featured on the penny since 1909. This image, sculpted by Victor David Brenner, has become one of the most recognizable coin designs in U.S. history. Surrounding Lincoln's bust are the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty." In the year of minting, 1980. Flip the coin over, and you'll see the reverse side featuring the famous Lincoln Memorial. This design has been part of the penny since 1959 and is a tribute to one of America's greatest presidents and a symbol of the nation's history and strength. It's a design that has withstood the test of time, making this coin not only a symbol of currency but also a piece of history. But what sets the 1980 penny apart from other years? The key lies in its rarity and condition. While most pennies from 1980 were produced in large quantities and circulated widely, the 1981 cent coin in mint condition is a rare find. Over time, many of these coins became worn down due to heavy circulation, which is typical for such small denominations. However, those that managed to stay in pristine, uncirculated condition are now becoming extremely valuable. Now, let's talk about the value. A regular 1980 penny is not worth much more than its face value, just 1 cent. However, if you have an uncirculated version or one with a rare minting error, it could be worth far more. There are even some specific varieties of the 1980 penny, such as those with slight differences in the lettering or the mint mark, that can make them more desirable to collectors. Some pennies were even minted with errors that make them even more valuable. These unique features are what make the 1980 penny an attractive coin for investors and collectors. Now, you're probably wondering, just how much could a 1980 penny be worth if it's in perfect condition or has one of these rare errors? Get ready for this. Depending on the condition and the rarity of the coin, a 1980 penny can fetch an impressive $57,000. Yes, you heard that right, $57,000 for a single penny. That's right, the value of this tiny coin, which you might have dismissed as just pocket change, could be worth more than some cars or even a down payment on a house. The reason for such a high value comes down to its condition, rarity, and the growing interest in coin collecting. Rare, high-quality pennies like the 1980 version are highly sought after, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them. If you happen to find one of these rare pennies in your collection, you could be holding on to a small fortune. So, if you're going through your old coin jar or checking through your change, don't overlook the 1980 penny. It could be the key to unlocking a serious treasure. And even if you don't have one right now, keep an eye out. Who knows what you could discover on your next coin hunt? On Top 2, we have something truly exciting to share with you, a coin that's often overlooked but could be worth a fortune, the 1981 United States 1-cent coin. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a penny. How much could it possibly be worth? Well, stick with us, because you're about to discover just how much this little coin could make you. Let's set the stage. It's 1981, and the United States is navigating through a period of economic change. President Ronald Reagan has just taken office, and the country is dealing with high inflation and a shift in economic policies. Meanwhile, the humble penny is still circulating in the pockets of Americans everywhere. At first glance, the 1981 penny looks like any other penny you've seen. A small, copper-plated coin with the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But what makes the 1981 penny stand out? Well, while the design is standard, the key to its value lies in its rarity and condition. Like many coins from the early 80s, most of the 1981 pennies were produced in large quantities and saw heavy circulation. Over the years, these coins have become worn and damaged, making it harder to find one in excellent condition. The real treasure here is finding a 1981 penny that has been kept in pristine, uncirculated condition. Now, you might be wondering, how can a 1981 penny, a coin that was widely used, be worth so much? Well, the answer lies in the world of coin collecting. Coins that are still in mint condition, meaning they haven't been in circulation and are free from scratches or discoloration, are highly coveted by collectors. A coin that has been carefully preserved in a safe, dry place can significantly increase in value. In addition to its condition, there are a few rare varieties of the 1981 penny that make it even more valuable. Some 1981 pennies were minted with small errors that make them stand out from the rest. These errors could be anything from a misstrike to slight variations in the lettering or the design. Error coins are a hot commodity in the coin collecting world because they are unique and cannot be found again. If you happen to come across a 1981 penny with one of these rare minting errors, you could have something truly special on your hands. So, how much is a 1981 penny actually worth? If you happen to have one in perfect, uncirculated condition, or better yet, one with a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Believe it or not, a single 1981 penny can be worth as much as $53,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $53,000 for a single penny. A coin that might look like any other penny you come across could, in fact, be worth more than a brand new car or even a vacation home. It's incredible to think that something so small could hold so much value. But that's the beauty of coin collecting. So, next time you find a 1981 penny in your spare change, don't just toss it aside. Take a moment to inspect it closely. You never know. You could be holding onto a rare treasure that's worth far more than its face value. On top 3, we're going to explore something you might have never thought twice about: the 1982 United States 1-cent coin. Now, we all know pennies don't exactly make headlines, but trust me, this one is a true hidden gem. By the end of this video, you'll be amazed at just how much this tiny coin could be worth. Let's take a trip back to 1982. The United States was in the middle of an economic shift, and some major changes were happening, not only in the world but also in U.S. coinage. 1982 marks a unique year for the penny because it was the first time that the U.S. Mint made a change in the materials used to create the 1-cent coin. Prior to 1982, pennies were made mostly from copper, but due to rising copper prices, the Mint decided to change the composition to a mixture of copper and zinc. This shift in material led to some fascinating differences in the coins, and it's one of the reasons the 1982 penny stands out for collectors. Now, looking at the design, you'll notice the usual: on the obverse, the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, and on the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial, both of which have been the face of the penny for decades. While these designs remain the same, the shift in the material used to mint these coins is where the value lies. But what makes the 1982 penny so interesting is how the change in composition affected the coins in a variety of ways, resulting in a few key variants. The 1982 penny comes in 2 major types, one made of the old copper alloy and the other with the new copper-plated zinc mixture. The weight difference between these 2 types is key in identifying them. The copper pennies weigh 3.11 grams, while the zinc pennies are lighter at 2.5 grams. This difference may seem small, but in the world of numismatics, those small details can make all the difference in a coin's value. So, why is the 1982 penny so valuable? Well, here's where things get interesting. Not only are there 2 different types of pennies from this year, but there are also rare, error coins that have made their way into circulation. One of the most sought-after variants is the 1982 D copper penny. Due to a mistake during minting, a small number of these coins were struck using the old copper material, even though the rest of the coins were supposed to be zinc. Because of this mistake, these coins are incredibly rare, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar to get their hands on one. Imagine finding a 1982 D copper penny in mint condition. What could it be worth? Well, it turns out that this rare coin could be worth far more than you think. A 1982 D copper penny in excellent, uncirculated condition can fetch a stunning price in the marketplace. If you've got one of these rare coins sitting in your collection, you could be holding a valuable treasure. And now, the big reveal. How much is this rare 1982 penny actually worth? If you're lucky enough to have a 1982 D copper penny in mint condition, you could be looking at a value of $48,000. Yes, that's right, $48,000 for a single penny. A coin that you might have found in your change or tucked away in an old jar could potentially be worth a small fortune. The rarity of these pennies, combined with their historical significance and unique minting error, makes them a highly prized item for serious collectors. So, if you have any old pennies lying around, especially ones from 1982, make sure to take a close look. It could be the key to unlocking a hidden treasure. On top 4, we're going to talk about a coin you've probably seen before but may not have thought twice about, the 1984 United States 1-cent coin. While pennies are often considered just pocket change, this one is a true gem in the world of numismatics, and you won't believe how much it could be worth. Stick around, because you're about to discover how a seemingly ordinary penny can be worth a small fortune. Let's take a step back and look at the historical context of 1984. The United States was experiencing a period of economic growth under President Ronald Reagan. People were feeling optimistic about the future, and the U.S. Mint was hard at work producing the coins that would continue to circulate in everyday transactions. The 1984 penny, like many of its predecessors, featured the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and on the reverse, the familiar Lincoln Memorial. But here's where it gets interesting. While the design remained unchanged, the 1984 penny is part of a period of time when there was still some variation in the types of pennies being produced. You see, the U.S. Mint was in the process of transitioning to a new, more cost-effective alloy. In 1982, the composition of the penny was changed from 95% copper to a mixture of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper, making the coin lighter and cheaper to produce. However, 1984 is unique because some of the pennies produced that year were still made using the old copper alloy before the full transition was complete. This brings us to the key reason why the 1984 penny is valuable. There's a rare version of this coin made from the old copper alloy that can be worth much more than its face value. These pennies, often referred to as copper pennies, are rare finds because most pennies from that year were produced with the new zinc copper alloy. But if you happen to find one of these rare copper pennies, you might just be holding a small fortune. The key to identifying these rare copper pennies lies in the weight. The copper version of the 1984 penny weighs 3.11 grams, while the zinc penny weighs only 2.5 grams. So, if you come across a penny from 1984 that's heavier than usual, you may be holding one of these rare coins. The fact that so few of these copper pennies were minted makes them highly desirable to collectors, and they can fetch quite a price when sold in the right condition. Now, you're probably wondering just how much a 1984 copper penny can be worth. Well, if you've got one in excellent, uncirculated condition, or better yet, one that is a rare error coin with a minting mistake, it could be worth a shocking amount. Depending on the coin's rarity and condition, a single 1984 penny could be worth as much as $44,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $44,000 for a single penny. This incredible value is due to the scarcity of the copper version and the high demand among collectors who are always on the lookout for rare and error coins. A penny that may have seemed like just loose change could turn out to be a key piece in your collection that could pay off in a big way. So, next time you find a 1984 penny in your pocket change, don't just toss it aside. Take a moment to inspect it closely. It might just be the treasure you've been searching for. And remember, it's not just the 1984 pennies that could be worth a lot. There are countless rare and valuable coins out there waiting to be discovered. On Top 5, we're going to reveal something that will make you rethink every penny you come across, the 1985 United States 1-cent coin. You'll be amazed at how a simple penny could hold so much potential value. Stick around, because we're about to uncover the secrets behind this tiny treasure and just how much it could be worth. Let's rewind to 1985. The United States was in the midst of a decade of growth and change under President Ronald Reagan's leadership. It was a time of economic optimism, but in the world of coinage, something subtle yet significant was happening. The 1985 penny may look like any other penny, but there's a reason why this coin has earned a place in the hearts of collectors everywhere. The design, of course, stayed the same, featuring President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that's been with us for over half a century. But here's the thing. 1985 pennies were produced during a time when a major shift was happening in the production of U.S. coins. You see, the U.S. Mint was still transitioning from the older copper alloy to the newer copper-plated zinc composition. The changeover, which officially began in 1982, had some irregularities, and that's where things get interesting. Most 1985 pennies were minted with the new zinc-copper alloy, but there were still a few pennies that were struck with the old copper alloy, making them a rare find. This change in the penny's composition is the key to its value. The copper version of the 1985 penny is much rarer than its zinc counterpart, and it's these copper versions that have become highly sought after by collectors. The difference in the weight of the coin is what sets them apart. While the new zinc pennies weigh about 2.5 grams, the copper pennies weigh 3.11 grams. So, if you come across a 1985 penny that feels a little heavier than usual, you might be looking at one of these rare copper coins. But that's not all. Along with the composition differences, some 1985 pennies were struck with minting errors. These coins, often referred to as error coins, can have misaligned strikes, doubling in the design, or even other unique features. These error coins are highly coveted because they are one-of-a-kind items that stand out from the rest. Collectors are always on the lookout for these rare pieces, as they can dramatically increase the coin's value. Now, you're probably wondering just how much this seemingly simple 1985 penny could be worth. If you happen to find a copper 1985 penny, especially one in mint condition, or if you discover a rare error coin, you could be holding on to something worth a significant amount of money. Hold on to your seats, because a rare copper 1985 penny can be worth as much as $40,000. Yes, that's right, $40,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that a coin that was once part of everyday change could be worth so much. But that's the magic of rare coin collecting. Whether it's the rarity of the copper version or the excitement of finding a minting error, the 1985 penny holds a special place in the world of coin collectors, and its value continues to rise as more people discover its worth. The next time you're sorting through your pocket change or looking through an old coin jar, take a closer look at any 1985 pennies you might find. You never know, you could be holding a rare treasure that's worth thousands of dollars. If you enjoyed learning about this valuable coin and want to keep discovering hidden gems in the world of rare coins, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell so you never miss out on a new episode. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting!